It was 1995. The internet was new, wild, and full of promise. And one company, Netscape, controlled it all. They didn't just build a browser, they built the gateway to the digital age. Their logo was everywhere. Their software was the first thing millions of people saw when they connected online for the very first time. Netscape wasn't just a company, it was the internet itself. But then came a rival, a giant that saw their power and decided to crush it. And within just a few years, the startup that built the web was gone, buried under Microsoft's weight. This is the story of how Netscape created the internet and how Microsoft took it. Welcome to Missed Billions Explained, the series where we uncover the billion-dollar mistakes that shaped the world we live in. If you love stories of innovation, ego, and the business wars that defined our era, make sure to subscribe, because this one changed the internet forever. Before social media, before smartphones, before Google, there was Netscape. In the early 1990s, the internet was still a messy, text-only jungle of universities and engineers. No graphics, no color, no easy navigation. Then came a 23-year-old programmer named Mark Andreessen. He and his team at the University of Illinois built a simple tool that changed everything, a visual browser called Mosaic. It was the first to display images and text on the same page, a small idea that made the internet usable. Andreessen quickly realized he had something huge, but universities moved slowly. So he left, moved to Silicon Valley, and founded a company called Netscape Communications. In 1994, Netscape launched its browser, Netscape Navigator. It spread faster than anyone could imagine. Within a year, millions of people were using it to explore the web for the very first time. And in 1995, when Netscape went public, their stock price tripled on day one. It was one of the wildest IPOs in history, the moment that officially started the dot-com boom. Investors called it Internet Fever. Mark Andreessen, barefoot, brash, and 24 years old, made the cover of Time magazine sitting on a throne, calling himself the man who's building the future. Netscape wasn't just popular, it was untouchable. Or so they thought. There's an old rule in business. If you get too big too fast, you wake the giant. And Netscape woke Microsoft. At the time, Microsoft controlled over 90% of the computer market with Windows, but they'd underestimated the internet, at first calling it a fad. When Bill Gates realized what Netscape had built, he panicked. Because if the browser became the new home base for computers, then Windows wouldn't matter anymore. People wouldn't need Microsoft. They'd just need Netscape. So Gates sent a message across the company: we need to own the internet. And that's exactly what they tried to do. In 1996, Microsoft launched Internet Explorer, bundled directly into every copy of Windows. It was free. Netscape cost money. And most people didn't even have to download it. It was just there when you bought a new PC. Microsoft used its dominance not just to compete, but to choke Netscape out. Computer manufacturers were pressured to pre-install Internet Explorer. Business partners were told to choose Microsoft or lose access to Windows licenses. It was a classic monopoly move. Netscape couldn't fight a war on that scale. Their engineers were brilliant, but their enemy owned the battlefield. By 1998, Netscape's market share had dropped from over 80% to less than 10%. Their revenue was collapsing. Their software was buggy, rushed, and losing polish as they scrambled to keep up. And then came the final blow. Microsoft released Windows 98 with Internet Explorer built right into the operating system. No downloads, no choice, no mercy. Netscape tried to fight back by open sourcing their code, hoping the community could keep it alive. That project later became Mozilla Firefox, but it was too late for Netscape. In 1999, they were sold to AOL for $4.2 billion, and within a few years, the brand vanished completely. The company that built the internet didn't even survive it. Netscape's fall didn't just kill one company, it reshaped the entire tech world.
Microsoft became the most powerful corporation on Earth, but their victory came with consequences. In 2001, the US government filed an antitrust lawsuit against Microsoft, accusing them of crushing competition. And in the background, something new was emerging: Google. Because while Microsoft was busy winning the browser war, two Stanford students were quietly building the next revolution, the search engine that would control the web.
Spam in the search world, much like your email spam, except this is search spam. And what Google does this differently, we don't try to say, oh, these are spam.
Once again, a giant got comfortable and someone else saw the opportunity. So what if Netscape had survived? What if they had made their browser free sooner, or found a partner big enough to fight Microsoft's dominance? Would Google or Chrome even exist today? Would Microsoft still be the face of the internet? It's impossible to know, but one thing's clear: Netscape built the gateway, and everyone else walked through it. The fall of Netscape is a masterclass in how innovation and power collide. They built something revolutionary and lost not because they were wrong, but because their rival was bigger, richer, and ruthless. It's not always the best product that wins. It's the one backed by control. Netscape changed the world, but they forgot that the world doesn't stay fair for long. When you open your browser today, you're looking at Netscape's legacy. Tabs, bookmarks, graphics, even the idea of surfing the web came from them. They wrote the rule book for the digital age and paid the price for inventing it too early. Because in business, being first doesn't make you the winner. It just makes you the target. Thanks for watching Missed Billions Explained. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, subscribe, and tell us which company's downfall you want us to cover next. Because somewhere, right now, another startup is changing the world, and a giant is watching.
We had developed a browser called Mosaic at Illinois, and it was becoming fairly widely used on the internet, but it wasn't yet becoming something that a lot of people could use.